Still pretty dark out. There's Mitt waiting for us. I thought you were Steve. Have you seen Steve? Huh? He's watching the birds somewhere. There he is. The gang is all here. It's 7:15. The sun isn't even up yet. Mitt watching the birds because, cats can see at night. And Steve is choosing not to get run over by T-Rex this morning. All right, let's do the 1, 2, 3, and out the door. And there he goes, out the door. And it's warmer than it was yesterday. What was it, 36 yesterday? It's 42 this morning. But technically, it's called cold air advection. See you in a little while, Mitt. That's when colder air is coming in, and it usually comes in up in the sky before it comes in down on the ground behind these cold fronts. And where yesterday we had an inversion, and the tops of the mountains were the warmest, it's completely opposite this morning. The summit of Mount Washington was 29 degrees at 10 p.m. when the front went through. The wind gusted to 96 miles per hour, and the temperature has since fallen to 3 degrees. With the wind chill, close to 30 below zero. Wow. Difficult day to dress for skiing. Well, yesterday, I was going to say today, but today is a difficult day to ski, period. Yesterday, we were in the 50s in the mountains, and this morning, top of Mount Mansfield is at 8 degrees, where yesterday it was close to 50. Oh, my goodness. The snow reporters are calling it a variable surface. What was the word? Firm/lunar. Yes, like skiing on the surface of the moon if you get off the groomed terrain today because of yesterday's weather. Burlington, Vermont was yesterday morning 45 degrees. And we said that's a sign of warm air advection. And then it went up to 66. Record warm in Burlington, Vermont. Yesterday, beating the record of 64, I think, from 2021, so just 4 years ago. We also had record warmth. And check out the temperatures this morning in the region. And Burlington, Vermont is 25 this morning, where yesterday Burlington was warmer than Boston. This morning, Boston's only in the lower 40s. So even though technically this is called cold air advection in southern New England, it's not as cold as it was yesterday. Yesterday, in Bedford, Massachusetts, the temperature in the morning was 24, and it went up to 66 in the afternoon, 42-degree temperature rise. That's what happens in this kind of, when we had that inversion yesterday. And our wind straight out from the north, new flag for TK, second one, a lot of flag and pole maneuvering in all this weather. And boy, has the weather changed. For most of the winter, we were in this pattern where we had pretty much cold air with brief warm intrusions, untangling Rex. And now we're in a pattern where we have warm air and brief cold intrusions. So that's what's happening today, a brief cold intrusion. Can you hear me through the wind here? Hopefully. So the sun's not up for another 10 minutes or so. It's going to be a pretty sunrise. And there's the state of our wall. We'll see a lot more in that and the end more. So the weather forecast, not for the faint of heart, and especially those of us that want to preserve our snowpack for skiing. I mean, obviously, we were preserving it today, and there were no reports of snow that I could see in New England yesterday, even Mount Washington. It was a dry front. So our streak of days in a row, snow, ended 2 days ago at 71 days in a row. And the end of 2024 ended with about 30 out of 35 days. So let's see, do the math on that. We've had probably 105 days or so since Thanksgiving where it snowed in New England, about 105 out of something like 110 days. Quite a run. And there's still plenty of winter weather left in North America. It just happens to be focused in the west. And let's focus our satellite image this morning on the big picture with that storm that missed us way to the south yesterday. It's quite a spectacle out there over the Atlantic Ocean. And then you can't really see much going on across the United States, but there are boundaries that are going to ignite, including New England tonight. And then you have the West Coast, a couple of full latitude troughs coming on the West Coast there. One coming ashore now, and there's another one a day or two away. And those are going to be two major systems crossing the nation over the next 10 days. And for the most part, I think we're on the warmer side of them, although the jury's still out on next week. And what about today and tonight? You know, I've talked about how every Thursday there's a storm, and I've been talking about something coming along for this Thursday, which is now tomorrow, but it looks more like today or tonight. You look at the radar, not a lot going on, is there? Some echoes there in California, Washington, and a little echo over Lake Michigan. There's a little wave developing on this front that's stalled over southern New England, and it may actually snow a little bit tonight. Here's the NAM 3K, high resolution, 6C guidance. Blue lines are cold enough for snow. Those are pushing south, cold air advection today. And then look at that, little blue, little green, little rain, little snow, but more blue between 3Z, now that's 11 p.m. and midnight. There may be a stripe of snow coming along from I-90 to Route 2 in Massachusetts, southern New Hampshire. My house for an hour, could snow tonight. And then it's kind of gone. Now, when these high pressure systems go off to your north and east, the wind's going to come in from the east and north tomorrow. There'll be some low level moisture. So tomorrow and today are pretty chilly days. And maybe even Friday is kind of a chilly day compared to where we were yesterday because of the wind coming in off the ocean, and there'll be moisture rebuilding. So we may end up with fog and drizzle around here for a couple days. There's the Boston 10-day meteogram. Well, can't see all 10 days. And it shows the temperature kind of struggling to get out of the lower 40s. What a coincidence, that's where the water temperature is, with the wind coming in from the east as this high pressure system moving off to our north offers resistance over the next couple days. But then it really spikes up into the 50s with rain coming in mostly late Sunday. The weekend forecast is a little bit more clear now. Hey, Steve, what you doing? You looking for birds? T-Rex, where'd he go? Up the stairs, I think. What else? I wanted to show something else before I got to the forecast. Thank you all commenting on the birds and the sparrows and what's the town going to do with the project. How's your yard going to be? It's all going to be good. Our yard is going to get redone between me and the crew that's here. And there will be a garden. I bought some... Steve just jumped. I just bought some peas and lettuce, which I'm actually going to put in during the construction today, because I think our soil is loosened up enough. Oh, the moon this morning, I got up at 6 o'clock, just before 6, and I got this imagery of the worm moon as it was setting here. And the worm moon, you know, is full tomorrow night with that lunar eclipse. It's mostly in the middle of the night, and we're probably going to be fairly cloudy in New England tomorrow night. But you never know. Pussy Willows. And Steve's over there. I'm watching Steve, and we're going to watch the GFS now. It's been fairly consistent, I'd say. I don't think there's any better guidance to look at. It's all kind of waffling around a little bit. But here it is. With the wind from the east, south of this high pressure system today, that's kind of fueling that little wave, that little blue spot coming across central and southern New England tonight. That's a wave on a warm front, which you can't really tell, but they're bagging this in the isobars over northern New England. We're still going to have an air coming in from the east and southeast in a lot of New England. So farther from the ocean is going to be warmer and brighter over the next 2 days. And there's the storm in the middle of the nation coming across. And it doesn't look like there's a lot of precip with it there, does it, initially tomorrow as it deepens through the 980s. But then on Friday, it really ignites more on Friday with a batch of severe weather there in the Mississippi River Valley and snow breaking out. It could be a narrow strip of blizzard conditions there in North Dakota, somewhere in there. And that first batch of precipitation comes at New England, and that's going to kind of fall apart and lift to our west and north on Saturday. That's a warmer front. So we have a warm front today, a warmer front on Saturday, and then an even warmer front Sunday. Look at another batch of precipitation igniting well south of the low, which is now up to Lake Superior. And that batch of rain looks like it's going to be pretty intense from Canada down to the Gulf of Mexico into the Northeast and New England Sunday afternoon and night with a lot of isobars there, very windy. We could have some gusts over 50 miles an hour. Good call changing the SAP run at Wildcat from Sunday to Saturday. I didn't know you guys had that kind of flexibility. And then Monday we do get into there's a trough in the east, but it's fleeting, and we have maybe rain ending in snow early Monday, but then it's just going to be cold for a few hours Monday before another system's going to drive another warm front in here next Tuesday or so. And then the front's going to kind of stall out from southeastern Canada to the middle of the United States with little waves of energy coming along. It looks like we could have rain and or snow coming in here again next Wednesday. So next Wednesday could be colder and than this week's Wednesday. It's going to be close with rain and snow possible. And then Thursday, it's getting colder again. And then we go out to Friday, and this is now March 20, Friday into Saturday, March 2021. We're getting to the vernal equinox. And there's a 10-11 low, 240 hours over northern New England with a threat for snow. So even though we're in a warmer pattern, these cold intrusions do come in and sort of solidify the snowpack and maybe even add to it a little bit as the snowpack is shrinking. It's not going to go all at once. It's going to go incrementally. So the valleys will most likely be snow-free within about 8 days, but there's still 95 inches of snow at 4,000 feet on Mount Mansfield, so that's certainly not going to be snow-free. And though I didn't look at it, let's look at it together. The 10-day snowfall guessed by the GFS, anything that's purple there is close to a foot, and then you get into colors beyond purple, and the highest elevations from California to Utah to Idaho are getting feet of snow out west. Whereas in New England, perhaps a trace of snow tonight, and then we have possibility for inches of snow, not feet of snow, incrementally next week. So that's our week 21 in a row, coast to coast North America snow. All right, I'm on the other side of our wall now. Want to see what it looks like? I'm going to cover this a lot more in depth in the end more. Oh, there's a nice tool there. I love these tools. I won't let you forget that one. So what looks like, I'll explain all this in the end more. Yesterday I was just fascinated with the sky, the condensation trails and the moon coming up, and then I just couldn't stop talking about it and our project. I followed the loader around and the excavator around, and they're moving these big blocks, which incidentally I've probably mentioned, the bigger ones weigh 7,600 pounds a piece. Got tons and tons of retainment to hold up the hill, and they continue to pile the boulders up down there, and we'll see close up of the boulders getting unloaded and loaded and moved. And so thanks for watching. And oh, a squirrel just ran. Oh, that was not good. Oh, I can't even tell you what just happened. Is there a squirrelologist in the house? Yeah, there is. Okay. And more from yesterday. Talk to you tomorrow. All right, conveyor being dismantled. Last course of blocks incoming today. So the last course of blocks showing up. That bin out of the way. What do you see, T-Rex? Nice sunny day, isn't it? It's getting warm. Let's go for a walk. Oh man, these guys are so good. Team Luciano, picking the individual pieces of stone out of the ancient creeping juniper over there. Really appreciate it, you guys. Ah, beautiful. Lunchtime behind the DQ, Route 18, Weymouth. And DQ's not open yet for the season. Good day for contrails, condensation trails. Conditional instability aloft and some moisture. Sign of warmer air to come, but colder air first. And the back of this rig. Love this. More and more and more. So jets flying at one altitude, not making a condensation trail like the jets at the higher altitude. Different layers of stability and moisture. Fascinating. In other news, there's a beauty store over there, and they sell product I need, but I'm not licensed. But I met someone who is licensed, so I got the pro deal. Amanda Way in Hingham, senior stylist and owner, 20% off first visit. Yes. Looks like they're pretty done for the day. Hey Dennis, that bird over there fishing right over your shoulder. Your drone was just up here. Where'd it go? Where's Jay? It's Luciano. It's the top. Hair over 60. Light wind. Gorgeous. What a day. Almost beach weather at 60 degrees. I don't see anybody at the beach. And a reminder, the name of this project: Pre-Disaster Mitigation Grant Program, Federal, State, and Local Partnership, FEMA. Town of Weymouth, State, Mayor Headland. Big tools. And there's a last wall right down there. Capstones.
Right here. He's taking pictures.
Got a guard dog.
He's got his guard dog.
He's kind of mean. Hey, he scratched my anchor. Coming and going. Alright, so I just talked to the truck operator, and he says that boulder on the left is 6 tons and the one on the right is 7 tons. 13 tons of boulder just blasted with dynamite out of the earth here in South Weymouth and Hingham between 383. Rex, come on. He's weighted 6 tons. Oh, now he's going to put the weight on it. And that gets delivered over there in the rock pile. Dust storm. Windy. Yep, even though we've had more than a half a foot of rain the last couple months, low dew point, dry air, wind, elevated dust, and fire danger. That's how they weigh it. Oh, he's going to try and slide it down maybe. You want to decode that? How about this lineup of trucks and a Corvette Who do you think's driving the Corvette? Guy with the biggest excavator? Excavator. Almost hot, huh, Rex? Rex likes running up that hill too. Did I say I like running up the hill? I'm catching up with the DL 580. Three more big ones. Yep, every day. Monitor the traffic. You slowing traffic down again?
Take me out. I'm gonna drop her. That's you.
It's not too hot for you today, is it?
Good boy. Come here. That's my buddy.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
It is.
Probably the
Like we
nicest day.
talked about that, just gotta get used to it because I'm so out of shape.
2 days in a row.
I know, I like it. Oh, you know I got a weak spot for you.
Oh boy. It's happy hour at the dog
Don't
puppy
you realize
club.
how good you have it here with these guys? Come on. That's my buddy.
All right, man. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
3:30 update. It's 63 degrees in Burlington, Vermont. The record is 64 from 2021. The condensation trails are getting bigger and brighter. So pretty. And just remembered a year ago today we were getting a blizzard in northern Vermont, and it rejuvenated the ski season. So exact opposite this year, in the 60s in Vermont. And snow is melting rapidly. But fortunately it's very deep, opposite of last year. All right, 4 o'clock. You gotta wonder what's going on at the nurseries. Get some apples. You go over there. Linwood. Not sure what that is actually. Arbor Vitae, right? And flowering. The Rising Sun, rebud the Rising Sun. Not sure what it is. Flowering pear trees. That's what I want. A flowering pear tree. 37. Sure. What else? Where are the pussy willows? Red twig dogwood. Looks kind of appealing. And another dogwood. Any pussy willows? No pussy willows? Wondering how much the pussy willows are. River birch. There they are. Those are the pussy willows. You know, you can start these from a stick, right? $23. 6 willow. That's what they're called. And the umbrella bush. Got those going. Bruce asked if I use peat pots. Well, I haven't, but I'm tempted. Why not? Start them indoors. Plenty of selections here. Put the peas right in the ground, but start the tomatoes indoors. All right, just past 4 o'clock update. Still beautiful condensation trails. That's conditional instability. It's the wing of the jet causes the air to rise, cool and condense. But now we have some natural rising, cooling, and condensing with the warmer air high in the sky rising up over the top of the slightly colder. There's a cold front coming in from the west. Here on the Hingham side of the dog park, very low tide. So you know when you get a full moon, your high tide is at lunchtime and midnight, and your low tide is at breakfast and dinner. And that's what's happening right now. Look at these jets coming in from across the Atlantic Ocean. I think they're racing each other. So neat. Almost time for a time lapse. Yeah, when the tide is low, crew's gonna make the most of it. Working a little late. Look at these two lovebirds. They're always right next to each other, right around here. That sound. There's clouds and condensation trails. So my flag bill is up to like close to $30 a month. A new flag. The wind vane up there with the weather and wind last week kind of ate the flag. So we got another new one. As you saw, we went to Lowe's, got some seed also. And that cirrus cloud has evaporated, but oh, come on, focus. The condensation trails continue. Love them too. Steve likes the new rock also. Love that rock that was uncovered in the Big Dig. Chickadee-dee-dee-dee. Could I interest you in some pussy willows? Our pussy willow cup runneth over. Just about 48 hours to the full moon. Gorgeous. And look at these, look at that one. New contrail, old contorted contrail. Old contorted contrail, new contrail. Yeah, I love watching the sky. That's all I do. I sit here and stare at the sky. Is it time for a time lapse? Pretty close. I mean, of course there'll be more. Like the ferry coming in right now. That's that loud one. It's called Miss Massachusetts. Going into the wind. It's not so windy here in our yard because we're blocked by the hill. Whitecaps out there though. Oh, and how can I resist one more shot of Steve? Have you ever seen a cat underneath a caterpillar? Oh, this is a Volvo, sorry. Steve, where you going? Low bridge. Come back. Volvo, don't get it wrong. That's enough. More stone. And the rest of the wall, the top of the wall, goes on tomorrow. Has anyone seen a white cat around here somewhere? I'm not talking about caterpillar. Talking about Maine Coon cat underneath the Volvo. Yeah. All right, enough, Tim. Just show us some contrails in the sunset and some piano music and some geese. Will do. Over and out. There's also a crow on top of the flagpole in South Dennis. And Jenny, thank you for getting me this one, which is enduring. Maybe not the direction so much, but the crow itself. And the one on Cape Cod is pretty much kaput. So let's do a time lapse of both the Cape Cod. See if you can make out a crow on top of that flagpole, and how many condensation trails we can count going over Fallon's Pond. And it's near record warm day. The temperature at the Cape Cod one is correct. That's from the Hyannis Airport. Close enough. And then the one here in
Weymouth, temperature's locked at 32 because my Tempest is dysfunctional and they have not taken enough time to get it off the roof and send it back. But we always have old school analog. We've got a V in the sky. And the time lapse here in Weymouth, including me putting the new flag on as the sun was going down with the contrails in the background. Wow, look how fast that V dissipated. So stability has returned right there, instability continues over there, and solar heating plays such a role. Who's in control of the weather? Sunshine, gravity. Thanks for watching. Talk to you tomorrow.